Hi, I'm Child of Bones and I'm a practicing witch, and today I'm going to talk to you about one of the lovely god forms called Green Jack. And Green Jack is very male. He's a force of nature. He has very strong, gorgeous green energy. He's a horny fellow. No one pretty much comes as hornier as Jack, I don't think. And he's about the life force of all the plants. So he's about the green ray. He's about the fertilization. Jack's war cry, if you like, or his ethos would be to be a seed, to burst forth with life, to grow, to bloom, to fertilize, to seed, to go back again, and to continue that process of fertilization and then complete the cycle again. Jack can be used and tapped for lots of different magical reasons, and so I guess if we start describing Jack as a god form, he is a very, when Jack arrives, if you petition Jack or you want to work with Jack or you have a natural inclination with the god of nature, Jack has a very viscous energy. It's bright lime kind of fluorescent green, if you can see, if you're clairvoyant like that and you can perceive colours. It's very, very viscous. It's quite heavy, like dew, and it's also got a sexual potency about it, so it's kind of horny. He is about the wild life force of nature, and is, like I said, his drive is to rise, bloom, seed, fall and rise again. So Jack's always on the up, if you like. And procreation, it's about physical potency. And magically we petition Jack for several things, and one thing that Jack's great for is if you're wanting to work with plant spirits are, I mean, I don't even know how to describe working with plant spirits, but they're just unbelievably fantastic. Amazing. Could spend your whole life just attempting to form relationships with plant spirits. I mean, incredible. Anyhow, Jack can be petitioned to act as a bridge if you would like to befriend and form an allyship, a magical friendship, if you like, an allyship. You become a student, the plant becomes a teacher, things like that. Jack can be petitioned to help you find one in nature's domain. So you petition Jack, you ask him to help you find the correct allyship with a plant form, and then Jack hopefully will be able to bridge you and to help you form a relation with whatever plant spirit would come forth for you. So that's one way. Another way is that I personally am not familiar with, but I know Jack can be petitioned for, is to work with the green ray, and certainly Jack can help people align to that, working with that energy, or if they're aligned to that energy already and work with it. I know it's quite popular on the scene at the moment, then certainly that's very much under Jack's domain, so that's something that people could work with Jack for as well. Like I said, you know, I don't work with the green ray myself, so I can't really talk about that. And Jack can also be used for other reasons, and one of them is to create a magical partner. Now this is slightly different. It's not a love spell. It's not traditionally used in this way. This is when we call forth magical energy to fertilize a project. Now, sometimes in magic, as most of you probably know, sometimes in magic we can have two genders come together and they hold the god form. One would hold a goddess energy, one would hold the god, the male, and then due to the interaction in a rite or a ritual, the sacred rite, then they actually blend their energies together, and then they form a magical, they've obviously set up their magical intention, and then that energy gives rise, but like yin and yang, sustain together and actually help to formulate the manifestation of that magical result. Now, should you not have a magical partner but you wish to do the sacred rite, or you believe that the sacred rite would be necessary in order for your magical manifestation, you can petition Jack to offer that role. Doesn't mean I can't say if Jack will or won't, but you would know if he was willing or not. And certainly out of the shoulder bones energies that that we work with here, Jack would adopt that role better than anyone else, pretty much. So Jack can be used for that sounds horrible, doesn't it? Jack can be petitioned for the sacred rite, and of course, you know, as you probably know, that can come in two forms, obviously, straight off the bat. And one would be that Jack would find a horse for his energy, which means, you know, find a vehicle, a physical vehicle to ride that energy. And of course the other would be that Jack would visit you without the physical vehicle, and the rite can take place. And do I believe this can happen? Of course. And I know magical practitioners that have petitioned Jack and have petitioned Jack with his brew, and that was a manifestation. 100%. So yes, it can. Now, don't be concerned if you don't want a magical partner, because Jack would not be knocking on your door should you not be willing. There's certainly a very respectful energy around this god form, and this god form has never, to my knowledge, ever tried anything with anyone that wasn't willing, and very active in trying to petition a magical partner from Jack. So please don't be concerned, because I don't want this to be about anyone being new to magic and thinking that Jack was going to try and pursue them in that way, because it doesn't actually work like that. Very respectful god form here, very ancient primal god form, but no, certainly it's done with respect. And also somebody that's kind of working for a magical rite, or petitioning a god to find a horse for them, they kind of have to work at it a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you just start tripping over magic and then it kind of happens. It takes a little bit more orchestrated behind the scenes, and enough of the knowledge from the magical practitioner for that to come to pass. So please don't be concerned. Now back to Jack. This is Jack's magical potion, typical shoulder bones brew. It's actually made of salt, or made in salt, so nice and natural preservative there. Jack's brew's pretty special. They're all pretty special in their own right, but Jack's salt, very, very particular, was our Jack. Had to come from the Andes in Peru, and trust me, boy did I have to work to get that. But anyway, the point is that Jack's brew is great. Very, very small amounts is all that's needed. You don't need much, and Jack's great if you want to work with Jack for physical restoration. It's different to Kun Dragon, it's different energy, but in some ways, because it's still very, very anchored on the earth, it is quite viscous like Kun. Kun's a heavy kind of red blood energy, whereas Jack is kind of nature chi prana, if you like. So the energy is often, for me with Jack, is quite high up in the body. So when I go running, for example, and I'm out amongst the trees and stuff like that, and I feel elated from being out in nature and getting a lot of oxygen and stuff like that, that's like the energy amongst the leaves and the wind and the rain even, or the sun. It often feels like Jack. Jack's quite prana-ish. Kun Dragon for petitioning for physical energy to get through a project. It's much heavier in the body. It's a strength that feels like it comes up through the acupuncture points in your feet, or I guess some people would say you've got chakras in your feet, which of course you probably have. But I'm talking about the kidney energy of your sole of your feet. It travels up. Kun is very red, base chakra energy. It comes up, it's heavy, and it moves through your body with such strength and endurance. Jack's kind of heady, high, and the chi, you know, so kind of more lung energy up like that. So knowledge of the green, knowledge of plants, working with plant spirits. You might be a healer and like the green ray. You might just want a bit of a lift. You might feel tired, disconnected from nature, stuck in an office all the time, and you just think, God, if only I had more time to go out, I'd feel better if I could go for a brisk walk, or if I could get out in nature. Then this is a really good remedy for that kind of thing. I mean, if physically you can't go outdoors and connect with Jack, It could be a safety issue. It could be that you live, you know, in a city and you knock off work at 12 o'clock and you can't go for a walk. Then this is the kind of thing that Jack's nice for. You know, it's not going to get too heavy with Jack. You just sprinkle him in your bath, or, you know, he's okay around a fire, around a candle, or sprinkle a couple of grains next to your pillow at night. That's the kind of thing you can also benefit so much from Jack, about just feeling better about yourself, you know, physically feeling better. Now, I do want to talk to you about one other thing that we've got of Jack's. We are getting some soaps made for Jack, so I'm sure that's going to be great. But at the moment, the only other thing to show you is the Childhood Bones Power Oil. And this was under Jack's strict instructions, what we did. So I spoke to you today a lot about all the different domains that Jack can be accessed for. Well, this one is called Horn Oil, because he is horny. And this works magically for 28 days. It's one of the Childhood Bones Power Oil. And this here is just a little, this is what your vehicle is for this ritual feeding. And it's just a jar filled with some Himalayan salt. It can be any salt. And basically what we do here is, out of all the domains of magic, we've just got one little stream. It's not that little, but it is one stream of his domain, and it's basically about fertilization. This is about when you need to fertilize any project in life. Now, the best example, I guess, or one just off the top of my head, would be, say for example, you were trying to change your career or get a new job or something, and you've been trying for ages and you're not getting anywhere with the project. It feels like you're missing something, or you feel like you need a force to come with you to ignite it. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well, but I certainly know what I'm trying to say, which is no help to you. So basically, if you feel like you need a of nature, if you feel like you need a lift and a bit of a carry, like the goal's in sight but you just need to get there, this isn't for great new ideas. This is because you actually know what you want. It's just out of reach. You just don't quite know how to get it. This is the fertilization brew. This is the horniness. This is the and off. Okay, so yes, you can use this because you want to feel a bit more horny in yourself about life and about stuff like that, but it's not exactly designed for that. It can be used for that because you can set your attention with Jack, but what this is about just getting the oomph you need, i.e. co-joining of energy, manifestation. This is you co-joining energy. Can you use it if you're male and female, or female, I mean? Yes, of course you can. It's really okay. This is representing magical fertilization that you're lacking in order to manifest your goal. So you take off the lid and you do a ritual feeding. Oh, sorry, this salt here, you put your hair in it, your nails, you personalize it, a sacred elixir of your body. This then becomes the vehicle. You are represented by the salt, and this is the ritual feeding. So this is Jack's oil, but it's also feeding Jack. So what you're doing is you're actually just putting a couple of drops in there for 28 days. Doesn't really matter in the lunar phase when you start this working, just go for 28 days. And then what you do is you ritually feed it, just whisper into it if you like, what it is that you're wanting Jack to fertilize for you, okay? And then you're feeding the god, and the god is sympathetically then feeding you, because this is you. After 28 days, or hide it away from the living. Don't let anyone be messing with your stuff, you know, magically. It's not a good idea. Just, you know, take it away. Leave it away so people can't stumble across it. Nor pets. So you're just putting in a couple of drops there, that's right. And then after 28 days, you put it in the earth, and thank Jack, put it in the earth in a sacred manner. That's it. Now what that's done is created and sustained a ritual feeding to a very, very powerful, clever, and full of energy and life force and fertilization, the God form. I mean, seriously, this is a beautiful and very potent thing. What you do, your part in this, set the intention, keep the intention clear, and you hold your magical focus as if Jack is completely signed up and Jack's doing this for you. I mean, it's in the post, it's delivered, whatever it is that you want, it's a done deal. You know, that's the magical stance that you take. You don't entertain anything else. This is what you're doing, and this is your clarity here in physical form. So that's a beautiful way to work with Jack, actually. It's really nice. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoyed a very brief description on Green Jack, our force of nature.